To go? All right, so we are recording there. Boom, we will get this just started.
Hi.
Welcome again to another episode of Yatta Debates. We have one of my good friends here, Raymond Brown.
Hey, how's it going?
Hello.
Or Ray Vicente.
Yeah, Ray Brown's fine.
We have the same last name.
What a coincidence, right?
Yes, the Browns are something to be spoken of.
Amen.
Yeah, so you don't know Shelly, but I actually known Ray for like a couple years now. I actually went to school with his nephew, and was referring to someone like to do like some photos for me. He was just like, oh well, my uncle, he does photos, so I was just like, yes, because I need some of these. I need some good press photos, and it's like a small space, but he captures like these most amazing pictures. I was just like, I still have those today.
Thank you.
It's just like, and he also has this amazing menswear line, and every so often he'll call me to model some of his clothes. And I'm not a professional model here, but I do what I can.
You do
I
your
couldn't
thing.
tell. I can't tell.
I don't have the walk down yet. I really don't have the walk
Yeah,
down.
you just gotta get the confidence.
Yeah.
You just gotta ooze the confidence.
You know
and
what
walk.
you know what it is, and to get this started right, it's just like when I go on the runway, like I can't see, because I can't walk on there with my glasses, because
You need to get some contact.
That's all the better though, because then you can't see somebody making faces at
Yep,
you. It's
just walk.
Remember, they came there to see you.
I know, but
The
it's just
Bible
like,
said, "Lead by faith, not by sight." Y'all.
There you go.
yeah, but like on the bigger runways, I'm fine, but on some of them, just like I'm like, I
Yeah, the
hope
intimate ones where they're like right there.
Yeah, I'm like, I hope I don't fall. Right?
Well, if you
That's
fall,
fear,
just
Yatta.
make it look good. Just lay on the floor and pose.
Yes, pose. That's fear. See, you let your fear get in the
People
way of
think
that.
people think you're supposed to do that.
So, Ray, I know you had like a busy couple weekends, because I was actually trying to get him on the show earlier. What was it? Atlantic City Fashion
Atlantic
Week?
City Fashion Week about 2 weeks ago, and last week was New York City Fashion Week, or New York Fashion Week.
And how did those go?
Crazy.
As usual.
As usual, yeah. Atlantic City is a little more calm,
Mhm.
I have to admit, but it's a big venue. It's about 500 people. New York Fashion Week was with Fifi Fashion Week by Sophia Davis, who owns the Fashion Avenue News magazine.
Mhm.
She runs one for independent designers,
Oh, nice.
and so she has about the same amount of people as well, but it's amped up because it's in New York. So you have to
Yeah.
really bring it when you hit New York.
Yeah, and I saw some pictures from there. I'm just like,
Oh, yeah.
I'm like that runway looks a little intimidating. I'm
It
just like-
was.
I'm like,
was.
I'm like, I don't know if I can do this.
Well,
I'm
we
just like-
actually, believe it or not, we had one guy from Trenton actually in the show.
Yusuf.
See, y'all don't.
No, not Yusuf. I'm sorry, two people from Trenton. Forgot Yusuf was another one, a new guy that his name is named Max, and he was in the show. I picked him. He was he was about 5'10". You know, they're generally 6 foot and so forth. So he wasn't intimidated at all. I had to give him to him because he was hitting with all the pros at that particular time. So he did a good job. Trent was representing. I gotta give it to us. We did good.
That just shows you how far like that consistency and confidence can go. You know,
Yeah.
like, because
Yeah.
like we are
Yeah.
really like such a small town and a small collective,
Right.
But it's just like I know like that we can do like great things. Just
Oh,
like
yeah.
this, like,
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah, we had Trenton models in Atlantic City Fashion Week.
Yeah, Trenton
So
is
we're
limitless.
good there. Exactly.
There's a lot
the
of
talent's
talent
there.
here,
Yeah.
And seeing your pieces like and wearing his pieces, it's like not only are like they incredibly stylish, but like they're so comfortable. Like he
Yeah,
had-
I can't be uncomfortable. I'm sorry.
when
So I
like,
need to hear more about this line because I'm obviously excluded from this line, but I want to
Well,
know for
believe
my
it or
brother.
not, you'd be surprised because a number of the ladies come up after the show and say, you know what, I would wear that. I would wear this or I would wear that. Because a number of the pieces are really kind of male or female could handle it.
Okay,
So it
there
all
is an
depends
effect.
on what it is. Yep.
yeah, so there was actually a fashion show. I don't remember if it was last year or 2 years ago at Shiloh. And
Oh, that was last year.
And
yeah, last year, 2019.
And normally I would not like purchase red pants. I would never. Ray heavy. I'm just like I'm taking these after the show. Just like he's not getting these back. But they would like they look so good. I'm like
Yeah.
I'm like damn, I look good in these.
and on top of that, he had a 3/4 length red sequin jacket on
Wow.
top of all that.
That
Yes.
picture is actually on my Instagram. I'll show you that one.
Yeah, please tag me in it so that I can repost it for Throwback Thursday.
There you go.
Yeah. So look, you would swear that I do this for a living. I'm just
Yatta, why don't you? Like, you're
I don't-
limiting yourself.
It's one of like fashion is like one of those cultures that I'm not like heavily endowed in. I know I know
Because
Ray
you're
is.
limiting yourself.
Yeah.
We just talked about this. We just talked about how fear limits you.
But it's not that. It's just like it's fun for me. Like I like to
And
do
that's
it
a hobby.
here and
Do it.
there.
Yeah, it's a hobby.
Do it as something that you're,
Yeah.
that you like to do. Don't do it and say, "Oh, I have to be the best at it." Just do it because
Exactly.
you love to do it.
You ain't
See,
got to
you're
be serious
limiting
about
yourself.
it. Just have fun with it. I mean, that's how I got started in it. I just tried it. I started as a model. And just did that for a while, and then I said, okay, that part's not really me. And then I went into more of the designing side, and I found out that's where my calling was.
And that's why I wanted to ask you. Like, are you originally from Trenton?
Oh yeah, born and raised.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So
Nobody seems to believe that, but yeah.
Well, and the reason that I asked is because I knew that Brunel was actually from Virginia. So I was. Wasn't he?
Yeah,
Yes.
he was. They were born. He was born down there.
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, his family's right from Trenton.
Oh, okay. That's one of the things that I always wondered. But yeah. So like, how did you like initially get into like modeling? It's one of those things, especially like in this area that it's like the culture really knows about it, but it's like one of those things that's not like really publicized, like the rappers and the
Yeah.
and
It was a little different though back because we're talking about back in the '80s. So at that time, you actually had modeling troops. And I happened to be part of one that we did fashion shows here in Cedar Gardens and all those places like that from churches from time to time. So it was very local. And then also we used to have Ebony Fashion Fair.
Yeah, you told me
which would
about
come
that.
here, and they would do a big fashion show at the War Memorial Building. So we were aware of it. We weren't in it mainstream, but we still like to do it and so forth. So it's more so where I got introduced to it. And then I was fortunate enough to spend part of the '80s in Paris.
Oh, yeah.
So I got to hit it full force at that point. And by the time I came back here, then I kind of had the idea of what I'd like to do.
I remember like that was like a big thing. Like back in the day, even when I was growing up, it just seemed like Paris and London was like this big fashion kind of like
And they
big
still
fashion capitals.
They still are. Yeah, it's European fashion. That's the idea. We didn't know anything about fashion anywhere else other than Europe because we're all Western culture.
Yeah.
So we didn't really know Eastern culture. We didn't know anything about South Africa, Ghana, any of those places as far as fashion is concerned. We barely knew that they existed, quite frankly, at that time. And so when we started working with in fashion, everything was European based. But we always mixed in an urban flair to it. So that was kind of urban European going back and forth, which really worked. And at that time, that's pretty much what we hit. Even the clothing that was in Ebony Fashion Fair was really from Europe. She, Miss Johnson, would grab the pieces from there. She would buy them originally because initially the designers over there would not sell them, would not let her borrow them because it was a black-based company.
Oh, wow.
So she had to purchase them initially. And then after a while, she was able to, after it went on for many, many, many years. It's defunct now. But after a while, she was able to borrow. But that was after they had gotten very big over time. But yeah, she bought paying $5,000 for a gown, $10,000 for a gown. She bought these pieces.
Sheesh.
And she used them in her fashion shows because she wanted to bring fashion and show our view of fashion on the scene as well.
And that's very important. And we talked about this before about people who really do like iconic things like that. Like people really take those leaps, and it really puts the footprint in place for the people to come after that.
Exactly.
How did you end up getting into like when did you know that modeling wasn't for you and just like, okay, I'm going to try?
Oh, that was pretty quick. That was pretty quick. I mean, I was standing there with guys that are like 6 foot tall. Really, you have to be built like a model.
Yeah.
It's more than a good looking face or what have you. And then on top of that, you have to have the talent for modeling. So I had the talent for modeling, but I didn't really have a model look. So I stayed into it for about a couple of years, and then it's a lot of work. It's hard to see that when you just see the photos because it looks like everybody's having fun.
Yeah.
But your photo shoot may be starting at 4 a.m.
Oh yeah.
And then if you're a female in particular, you're in makeup probably for about a couple of hours.
And I can attest to that because the first one that he had me at the ambassador's hall was just like, yeah, I'm just trying on clothes, but they getting hair done.
Exactly.
They're trying on clothes.
Exactly.
Oh, get your hair done. Get your makeup. Try this on.
Exactly.
And I'm just like, I'm sitting in the corner like,
He was real quiet.
It was my first one. I'm like, all right, I'm new to this.
The first one you look shell-shocked.
Oh, it was hilarious. Yeah, but and then you have people running around because when it's calmer to a degree until the show starts.
Yeah.
And then you just have people running around left and right. You'll have a lady come over to you with basically nothing on, saying, "Could you zip my dress up?" or something like that. And you ain't even paying attention because you're just moving.
Yeah.
By the time it's each after all that, it's kind of like a wedding. You plan months and months and months and months and months, and then it's over in 15 minutes.
Yep.
So it's just that fast.
Yeah, and like sitting there, like, you know, trying on the clothes and practicing your walk and them doing all their makeup. Like, your walk is about like what, 30 seconds?
Yeah, if that. Yeah, it depends on how long the runway is. But yeah, I haven't put you on a real long runway. It depends on how long the runway is.
Maybe 2020, we'll see that.
Yeah.
Yatta, definitely don't limit yourself this year. That's one of the things. Don't limit yourself. Try it out.
So, transitioning into design.
Yeah.
Like, what inspired you to do that? Like, when you said, like, okay.
Well, my sisters really. My sister Sylvia was a person who could sew, and so as a young kid, I guess fashion actually was for me much earlier. As a probably a 9 or 10-year-old, she would make a lot of my clothing. So I was her little model that she would just dress up basically. And so I liked it from there. And she said, you always thought you were a little prince anyway. So, so apparently I had that when I was real young. But as far as my doing it, same thing, working with the modeling troupe, we wanted some designer clothing, but we really didn't have any connection to designers. So I knew how to sew, so I started making pieces. And I started more so with women's wear because that was in the troupe, but I also did some menswear. And it kind of really just took off from there.
Now with that, like, I know, like, now you do like a lot of West African inspired clothing. Like, did you start off with that like idea in your head? Like,
no, my clothing was pretty much all European based. When I first got into it, that was really what I had a connection to because I knew nothing about African clothing and fashion and so forth like that. Which was very interesting because my sister was a militant. So, but again, even that, the militants were African American.
Yeah.
There's a difference between African American and African.
Yeah.
And so when we knew a lot about African American culture, and we knew a little bit about the kente print, really.
Yeah.
We didn't really know kente cloth. So when I started getting into all that, then I picked that up.
Now, like, I don't know, it's now what's the difference between?
And there's
like,
nothing wrong. It's just sirens, folks.
and now what's the difference between like kente cloth and kente print for like
really?
for people who like just look at it and just like they assume, because you know most of us is like the general consumers, like,
right,
we can't tell it. We just like we see someone like, I like that one.
Yeah,
I want that one.
And that's fine. And that's fine. I mean, it's like anything else. Like you learned about the fabrics from Europe, you learn about the fabrics from Africa. Same thing. Kente cloth is actually woven on a loom, and it's considerably more expensive. So you may get like 6 yards of kente print for like $25 to $30. Kente cloth for about 6 yards is going to cost you about $150.
Okay.
So it's a big difference, and you can tell in the quality. They're both cotton.
Yeah.
But there's a thicker cotton in the kente cloth because it literally is woven on a loom, and it's impressive to see people do it. They still do it by hand. With this gigantic loom. They're just pushing back and forth, putting it together. You know you have something special when you got it, though.
Yeah. Now, what about this thing that you were telling me? It's called mud cloth?
Mud cloth. This is mud cloth, actually, as a matter of fact. I happen to make it into a hat.
Oh, wow.
So this is mud cloth. Of course, I'm going to be extra. That's why I got all these jewels and all this. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, the inside of it is actually kente, is actually Ankara print.
Yeah.
But it's a mixture of Ankara print, so it's more like a Madras type of thing.
I know this print.
Some of them you're going to know very, very well. There are certain prints that were very popular over here.
Too, yeah.
But some of the other ones are less so. But this mud cloth is actually literally made with a special type of mud that is pushed and pressed and kept into cotton fabric, like a raw cotton fabric.
It's not gonna fit over your.
It ain't gonna fit over your mind. I was about to put it on, but I said, it's not gonna fit. And so it's really it's a story, really. No two pieces of mud cloth are the same, and you have to do mud cloth by hand. The inside is actually a mixture of Ankara prints, which are also from West Africa. So you got both of those going on. But it's a nice, comfortable hat. It's actually not too hot, which is really nice. And I just embellished it. You know, literally, I just embellished it. And that's another one that a guy could wear or a girl could wear.
Well,
either way.
when did you decide, like, okay, this is the direction that I want to go in? Because, you know, often, like, seeing that European design, and you say, like, what was that spark? Like, you know, I want to inspire, like, some African culture into my fashion.
It was kind of organic, actually. About I don't know if you remember, they redid Roots. So they did like an updated version with Malachi, who was doing it. And around that time, I also went and did like the Ancestry.com thing because I wanted to find out what background I had. I figured it'd be like 50-50 because I know my mother's maiden name is McQuaig. That's Scottish. I figured it'd be 50-50 as far as African and European. Well, I found that I was like almost 90% African.
Oh, wow.
And then I looked, and it's only like 13%, if you will, or 10% of Scottish. So that surprised me. And so I started doing some research, and I started, more so from my father's side, I started seeing Nigerians, I started seeing Ghanaians, some Cameroon. And that really, right after that, the movie came out.
Oh.
The remake came out. So I see, and what they did in this particular movie is that they showed the culture that he lost when he was taken from Africa. In the first version, you couldn't see all that. You didn't see all that. But you found out what he lost by being taken over and what it meant for him to lose his name. It wasn't just a name. It really was an identity. So you found out all of that, and you found out where he came from, and the culture that was there, the even government, if you will, at the time that was there. And and then you started seeing all the rich colors and all the things. You know, they got over here was black and white. Over there it was color. And so you got that kind of just grabbed my attention. So I just started looking at the different fabrics. And then, of course, what also started happening here in Trenton is that people started moving here and from Ghana who started colonizing certain parts of Trenton.
Oh, yeah.
And I found out about them, and I started going and seeing all these fabrics that in all my years of design I had never seen. And initially I wasn't sure how to work with them, and then eventually, I guess around 2017, I was just working on creating pieces that I wanted to wear, particularly that I specifically wanted to wear for myself. And I got a call from New York Fashion Week, and they said, "Ray, we're down a menswear designer. Can you put something in?" I'm like, "I only have this new line." Well, we went up there and did that line, and just literally, it wasn't even a collection. It was just pieces that I happened to like and put it all together. And it got a standing ovation.
Oh, wow.
And the people that know me in fashion came by and just said, "Nobody expected you to do that." And they said, "You took African and you took African American and a little bit of European influence, and you put it all together." And I think the thing that impressed me the most, that made me humble the most actually, was after the show, people from Ghana came backstage and thanked me for showing. They said, you're putting African fashion and African patterns and prints on the map, because he said you don't see that here in New York Fashion Week.
You really don't.
Yeah. It's not, because New York Fashion Week is also European based for the most part.
And I mean, like, in any show that I've been in and like seen your pieces, like Ray's pieces really are like the standout. Like not to say like the designers like don't have really nice clothing, but his is just like, when you see it, it's just like, it's eye catching. It's just like, this is amazing.
Well, it's not
like,
boring menswear.
Yeah.
We're used to, and I love Levi's, but we're used to Levi's. We're used to things such as Abercrombie and Finch and all this stuff. Those clothing for me tend to be more boring.
Yeah.
I may have some I may have a black T-shirt, but it's not going to just stay a black T-shirt. It's going to be mixed with other pieces and things that kind of bring out really the royalty that we actually have. And when you see the pieces, I mean, I have many friends now over in Ghana and Cameroon, as well as in Nigeria. They see what I do, thanks to social media, which is a big help. And they say you dress like a king. Which was very interesting to me, because that background I didn't know a lot of, but that was my sensibility. And so I hear from them, and we actually they're designers that are growing over there now, and I grab them and we connect, and I purchase stuff from them, they purchase stuff from me. So you have this great trade going on of not only merchandise but of culture. You get to learn what was kept from you for many years.
Yeah.
And you get to find out, wow, we really come from a rich culture, and what's in me is just simply coming out. It just was not, there wasn't an avenue for it before, but now there's an avenue because you just say, you know what, I'm going to do what I want to do. And this is where that line came from. It's called Ray Vincent Heritage because of that. Or the other one was Ray Vincent. This was Ray Vincent Heritage because it really is putting all parts of my heritage out there.
Yeah, and that's important. And like you said, it's just like you said, Wild Levi's, like with Levi, Abercrombie, and Finch Polo, like these things, they just become like standard in uniform. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's like one of those things. And the thing that really like amazes me behind it though, is just like the price point behind it. You know, it's just like, because like going into like these fashion shows and seeing like these like your amazing pieces, and then going into like a polo store and it's just like, yeah, shirt with a horse on it, $95. I'm like, what?
Yeah, yeah. And it's the name. I mean, fashion. And don't get me wrong, fashion's a business. You know, and the way that they can market it. I mean, you can go to a Versace store and pay, or actually, I think the recent one was type of Gucci or Tom Ford, and you're going to pay about $1,500 for a silk turtleneck, which, when you look at it, okay, it's silk, it's a turtleneck. I don't need to pay $1,500 for that, but because his name is on it, that's what it's going to be charged. But the growing group of designers coming out of South Africa are doing luxury lines now. So when you compare the two, you see, and theirs don't cost nearly as much as his do, but they're higher end. When you see the two, the quality of what's coming from those designers just blows you away.
Yeah.
One of them actually showed at New York Fashion Week in September, and I was fortunate enough to be invited to his show. His Max Hosa, and he started off his show with a quick video of his people and the celebrations they were doing and so forth. So he really brought the culture to the show before the show even started. And then the queens and the kings came down the runway, and you were blown away. It wasn't what you were expecting to see. But interesting enough, major people in New York fashion press weren't there. But it still got written about and so forth. But someone who would show the press that shows up to a Tom Ford show would have enjoyed this show just as much, but they weren't there.
Oh wow!
But he keeps pushing, and because he's big in Europe. He's big in Europe, obviously big in his home, and it just hasn't yet caught on here. However, now we have celebrities that are starting to wear his pieces, and that's we're celebrity driven, so that's going to make it bigger and bigger.
Yeah. And that's the important part, because one thing that kind of that gives me like a little about like some of the things that I see today in like fashion is just like with somebody like these higher fashion designers and just certain things in general. It becomes, because it's so business orientated, it becomes who can make like the most outlandish thing and put like a price point on it.
Oh, yeah.
Prime example, I don't know if you've seen, but I posted a picture of like the new Mason Margiela sneakers.
Oh yeah, I seen those.
And it just looked like
oh, I know what you're talking about.
The ones that look like toasted strudel.
And it looked like someone literally like just took a hot glue gun.
Yeah.
Like I swear, like the president was just like, just give me a design, whatever, give me a price point. And it's just like they go in there in the studio and it's just like they like, I got it.
Yeah.
Put a hot glue gun over the sneaker, $1,200.
Yeah.
And it's just like.
And people will pay it.
Yeah, people will buy it.
That's
and
just
wear
it.
them.
People will buy it and wear it simply because of who it's connected to.
And
they could see the same thing in Kmart, if you will, with no designer name, and nobody would buy it.
Yeah, they're like, that's a hot mess.
Exactly, exactly. And yet but that's again, we're very celebrity driven. We're very much in the idea of wearing the top designers, and that's why the designers kill to be able to dress somebody for the Academy Awards because they know their name gets out there. People will buy just because their name is on it.
Yep.
And and that's a battle for independent designers until you have people coming along like Lenny Kravitz who will pull towards an independent designer, as opposed to people that feel like the celebrities that have to wear the Gucci's and so forth and so on.
Yeah.
There are tons of other designers out there. I think Leslie Jones actually came on one time. She said, "Well, I can't find anybody to dress me." I'm like, "Who are you asking?" Because there are tons of designers right there in New York who could dress you. And she ended up working with Christian Siriano, who's a great, amazing designer. I'm like, there are tons of designers right there. You just have to let people know that you need it to be dressed. But she was going to the Gucci. She was going to all these people who
Yes.
didn't, who you know, she's 6 foot tall.
Yeah.
You know, and she wasn't a big star at that point. And I said, at that point, you could pull somebody else in. But somebody who is helping the cause is Tamron Hall. Tamron regularly displays when she wears independent designers on her show. And you know, her show is good, it's big, and so forth and so on. But her whole thing is, I don't want to show what's already out there. I want to show what these people who don't get the opportunity. She looks amazing every single time she comes out because she works with these independent designers.
And I think it's important on both aspects for one to like really step out of the box, you know, because what ends up happening, and like you said, because it becomes so much business, it steps away from fashion and it starts becoming branding.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And
it's all about branding, and branding is important because that's what people look for.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it also becomes, if a particular design sells, then they want you to have a bunch of that same design. And so basically you're just copying somebody else's design and putting it out there so it can go mass market. I came from the 80s. I came from the people that went to a particular designer because you love their aesthetic. And so they could be different. Now it's about mass marketing. So it's you can't be but so different because, you know, millions of people aren't going to like that particular design. Maybe only 1,000 will, but or 1,500, or you know, even as 1 million may like it. It's not enough. They want you to make something that sells to a mass amount of people. So okay, you just design a black T-shirt and there it goes out the door.
Oh.
So it's, you know, it's not a true designer, if you will, or you just put a logo on something and it goes out the door.
And you know, that's what. And not to discredit anyone, but that's like what we see from like some up and coming designers that I wish they would like kind of step away from. It kind of seems like they take like a phrase and a logo and they just put it on like a ton of different.
Design.
Yeah,
you know, and it's not really a fashion design. It's graphic arts.
Yeah.
You know, I have a degree in graphic arts. I know exactly what I'm looking at when I'm saying when I see it.
And I think that's acceptable for certain things. Like we were talking about, like when it comes down to like merchandising.
Oh yeah.
Like it's good for that, but like I wouldn't say like, oh, this is the Yatta Debate fashion line. Like no, this is just a T-shirt that shows our brand, so you know it spreads the word. But it's not. I wouldn't say it's fashion, but I see too much of that kind of going on, and then it trying to be passed stuff.
Yeah. And they really did get that. That also again came from it. Tommy Hilfiger did it to the hilt. When it came to, he dressed the rappers. So that's why you saw them with Hilfiger on their back and so forth. He knew exactly what he was doing. You know, he knew that I'll grab that audience because they will want to wear what the rappers are wearing.
Yeah.
And he was absolutely correct. He made his career on it. Because nobody knew who Tommy Hilfiger was until after he started dressing rappers.
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden, everybody was wearing it showed up in every video.
Yeah.
So it's perfect marketing. When you look back at some of the things now, you're like, wow, people wore that? Yeah. You know, but it was, he knew what to do, and it was a smart move on his case to be able to go mass because he needed the attention. As soon as he got the attention, he dropped that line and started doing what he really wanted to do, which is kind of more like polo and things of that nature.
That's interesting. That's interesting. I remember you telling me that like models change, like the style of models change like every so often.
Oh yeah.
Like what's the deal behind that? Because like, you know, some people go into the modeling industry, and I remember you told me and disproved this to me, like they think like, okay, I'm beautiful, I can do this.
The world's just
like,
waiting for me.
Yeah, but you said like when they get into like, you know, the auditions, it's just like it's like next.
Yeah, again, it's business. One thing is what is the designer's sample size? Now let's be it male or female. Every designer has a sample size, and either you fit that sample size or you don't fit that sample size. If you don't, you don't get the job. The other thing is, what look is the designer going for? You know, it may be all blondes. Well, you were walking in there, you probably won't get the job. Or it may be sometimes they want a very bad boy look, if you will, whatever they call that. You know, sometimes they want. There was a period of time where there was all African models were all over the place.
Yeah.
Because they wanted that size. But from a model standpoint, you have to be able to fit the clothes. So if you're in Europe, you have to be able to fit the European size clothing. Well, our African and African American bodies don't do that too much. We have more bulk, we have more muscle, and especially when it comes to legs, there's a thicker leg, and there's actually a behind there that won't fit into a number of the European cuts because the people over there don't have that. It would be the same thing if you went to Asia. You would be too tall.
Yeah, I remember I ordered a shirt from like Alibaba.
Yeah,
and I even got like
you went wrong.
Yes.
I got an extra large because they had like the size.
matter.
I'm sitting there.
See, it's
like,
size, but it's proportion.
Yeah.
That's the problem. See, the size was probably fine, but they're used to, they're 5'9", maybe about the tallest average model for the person for them that they're dressing. So, you come in at 6 foot tall, or 6'1" or 6'2".
It's not happening.
It ain't happening. You got to have it made. I mean, they have some beautiful styles. Love a lot of their stuff. But you go there. I mean, I may wear regular extra large, in the U.S. market, if you will. I'm probably got to buy a 4X or 5X in that market. Yeah. But even then, the proportions won't be exactly right. Because we're talking I have a longer torso versus a shorter torso. So it all depends on that. As far as models concerned, it's actually a pretty interesting time now because more independent designers are out there. It used to be all models had to look alike, which was just absolutely ridiculous. But that's what was out there. African American models, it was pretty much a wrap for a long period of time. You have one here, you have one there. You can probably name all of the famous African American models on like one hand because especially male ones. You think African American model, you think Tyson. Yep. That's the first person you go to. But there are other African American models out there. But that's the one that reached that height. He's almost like at a Naomi height. But you know them because of that. Now, if you started naming some Caucasian models, you have a whole list of them. Because it still is, in mainstream fashion, it's still very, very much European based, pretty much no matter where you are. But if you were going to be a model in South Africa, they tend to got guys a little bigger. So if you're very skinny, you might not get work. And so it all depends on what your body type is. Now they're doing bigger guys that are showing up. But then over in Europe, they got like 14, I call them models that have like 14-year-old bodies. I looked at that, I said, yeah, I was 14, that's what I look like. But now, a little more meat.
Sometime later.
Yeah, I had tried to do a modeling thing. Like, I tried to get into it, and it was like, they were like, oh, we have to assess what type of modeling you're for. Because it's like, you could be runway ready or social media ready or TV ready. And I was like, wait, hold on, there's different parts.
Oh, there are tons. There are tons. I mean, because not every model that is a print model can be a runway model.
Yeah.
You may have an amazing, and when we talk about having a model face, it doesn't necessarily mean the face is absolutely beautiful. It just means the camera loves that face.
And so typically, the camera
exactly, you have to have angle, like you have beautiful cheekbones, for example, and like a jawline. Whereas a person with just an oval face, it will just look fat on camera. It's real, and so you have to do all these makeup tricks to make it look like they're like valleys and things and heels on the person's face. So it's really about that look. You see some models in person, you're like, you're a model.
Yeah.
You're surprised because you're used to seeing them completely done up. And of course, Photoshop does wonders. So I can look younger than you in Photoshop. But it's all about. It's really all about who is asking for the model. If they are African American designers or African designers and they want African models, guess what? The agency gonna find them. If they want a fuller model, agency will find them. The agencies are there to make money. So whatever is selling to the designers, to the campaigns, that's what they're gonna push. Tyson came out when no model looked like him, and yet Polo said, "That's my new model." Kate Moss, same thing. The Calvin Klein said, "That's the new look." She came out as a waif model when the female models were Amazons. They were all tall and so forth and so on. He said, "That's my new look." She got a career. Tyson, "That's my new look." He got a career. It all depends on the people holding the purse strings. What are they looking for? And that's what the agencies will.
Well, like in this generation today, where we're like so all interconnected, and we see like all these different shapes and sizes. It's like we start to see like curvy models and thick models and like models of like all shapes and sizes.
Yep.
It's like how did have you seen like the modeling and the fashion industry change like over with the digital era, like and to come into this point where it's just like, okay, this isn't just the set standard of beauty. There's a ton of set standards of beauties, and there's clothes and sizes and looks for everyone.
Oh, your social media, you're very correct. Social media did a lot of that. You got to see other people called beautiful. It didn't have to be the blonde hair, the blue eye, and the very pale face. You go and look at, you go into certain parts of like Mauritania, or you go into certain parts of Northern Africa, and you're seeing this jet black skin with blue eyes. And it just blew people away. You're seeing people with these very curvy figures over and more so in West Africa and South Africa. And you start looking and said, these people are absolutely beautiful.
Oh, wow.
But that wasn't what you were, either you weren't aware of them, or you were told that unless it was a particular color or a particular size, it wasn't beautiful. So it's and that's one, again, it's run by the Western culture. So when you start looking at all these other cultures, and that's what social media did, it opened up all of these other cultures that were there all the time.
Yeah.
Dreads didn't just show up. They've been around a long time. And yet now you're getting to see, not only are they there, but they're absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
And so the range of what we call beautiful has opened up. And that's a lot due to social media.
I have to agree with Ray on that one, because if we think about even just like 10, 15 years ago, the standard of beauty was way different than it is now. Like now you have more plus size people, you have more people with different, like all different types of walks of life coming into like modeling, acting, everything that a couple years ago wouldn't have been offered those opportunities. But because we challenged the standard of beauty and our standard of beauty, now we're like, oh no, this is beautiful now. Like I seen a BuzzFeed video where they had what is beautiful in different countries.
Different cultures. And so it's wonderful to see. I mean, Lizzo, look at her.
Yeah.
She's absolutely gorgeous. She's full figure, and she's unapologetic about it. And that's it. She said, for me it's always been, are you healthy?
Yeah.
Because there's skinny people that aren't healthy. You have heavy people that are. So it's are you healthy in the size you're in? Not everybody is supposed to be a size 0. And that actually is a made up size. That size didn't exist back 20 years ago. They made that size up to make people think that they got smaller. Same size. But everybody's not meant to be built that way.
Yeah.
My doctor and I, we crack up. We're both the same height. He told me, he said, according to this BMI index, which is kind of going out the window now, they would say that you should be 165 pounds. And I told him, I said, Doc, I would look like I was dead at 165. And he laughed because he said he's from India. He said that doesn't work for your body type. So you have muscle mass, whereas we're the same height, but you are never going to be the same size I am, and I'm probably not ever going to be the same size you are. Said those standards were set in Europe and for European people, but we are not built like European people. So those standards don't fit us. And so you have to find out really what is healthy for you, body style wise. And fortunately, the fashion industry is waking up to that. And
that's good. And I mean, for designers, I mean, doesn't that open up like more possibilities? Like when you have a wider range of models, you can, create different designs that look better on curvy models as opposed to,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, and to a degree, this fashion industry got a little lazy at one time. Where they just, at one time, exactly. At one time, if a lady had a shape, she couldn't get a job. Literally, you had to be built like a boy, and that's what you saw on the runway. They no breasts, no hips. They were just skinny
sticks.
Yeah, you wanted to say, "Child, please go eat a hamburger," but now. You actually see curvy models, and it's funny because they call it curvy models. These are people that are built normally.
Yeah, like the average person.
It's the average person, but these are the people that buy the clothes. So if you were, if owner of a female owner of like a multi-million-dollar company, you had trouble finding clothes. If you had a shape, you had to have things made because the designers weren't designing anything for you. So there was a whole market that was left out. My first show in New York was a full figure model show, which I was asked to do. I had never done it before, but I was asked to do it. They said, "Ray, I know you can do this." I mean, we have women up there with a bust size 50. And I'm sitting there like, okay, I gotta figure this one out. And then they had this, small waist and with the Jessica Rabbit, they basically. And it's just knowing how to cut for that body shape, as opposed to just block. You just go in. That's why we got darts. That's the whole point of darts, to shape. The clothing is supposed to shape the body. The other thing is that sometimes they just make they make things too tight.
Yeah.
And my thing is always clothing should caress the body, not molest the body.
Yeah.
If you really want your clothing to complement you, and if it's too tight, just get the bigger size.
It seems so like such a simple solution.
But people are afraid like, oh, I got to wear a 16. So does a 16 look good on you? Wear the 16. Yeah. Don't be trying to get into a 10. It doesn't make you, because it looks like it's like a sausage casing. It's just spilling out all over everywhere. Doesn't make any sense. But people are getting away from that now, though, which is good.
That's funny. I know. I think my first real introduction into like fashion was like college, and it was like big skinny jean.
That's the bane of my existence. I can't stand skinny, especially not on men. I cannot stand skinny jeans. There are models who you will stand there. They'll come in for a fitting. Mm-hmm. You'll have to wait about like a good 3 or 4 or 5 minutes just to watch them get their pants off, because they got these big feet and these skinny jeans, and they're fighting to try to get. I literally had to I had them hold onto a chair while I pull his pants off. It's ridiculous. I said, "Why are you wearing that?
Get some pants inside."
It's silly. You might just paint something on you. Just paint blue on you.
I mean, they have those now. Like, it's to the point they call it painted on jeans. Like,
yeah, that's basically what they are, and they don't stretch. So it's like, how are you getting in and out of these things? I was fine with straight leg, but then they started going, skinny, and got skinnier and skinnier and skinnier. And if you are really skinny, then you just look like you're emaciated. Yeah. If you have a body, you look like literally you walking around half naked, because it's just showing everything. As Patti LaBelle says, it shows what you're thinking. So it's just, everything is just out there. It's like I've never gotten the point of clothing that tight, especially that doesn't stretch. Yeah. I think you can't breathe.
I think it's just one of those, like, when we look back at it, it's one of those like terrible trends.
But it won't leave.
And I'll confess up. I was guilty of it for a small period of time, and then I just said, you know what? I'm just gonna go with.
I didn't know you then, right?
No.
Okay.
I said after that, I was just like, okay, I'm just going to do slim fit, because slim is more comfortable.
That's reasonable.
I'm like, I don't got time for this shit. And then
they should have stopped at slim fit. When they went to skinny, it just messed the whole thing up.
I forgot I think it was at like PacSun, and I got like some skinny jeans, and you can see my kneecaps.
That's just what's crazy about it. I had the crazy idea. I said, I'm going to go over. I forgot what store I went to. I said, and I looked at them. I said, okay, they got skinny jeans and stretch. I'm going to try these things on. They were easy enough to get on. I looked in the mirror. I said, you look like a hot mess. So you look like a complete hot mess. It looks ridiculous. My mother would kill me for wearing something like that. I got those things off so fast and said, well, that was my skinny jeans moment. I will never wear them again.
Never again. Oh, that is her. Oh, my goodness. I'll come breathe for a second, but you brought a few pieces with
you. Yeah. Sorry, that was my little tirade.
Before I start dying.
I just have. Some women can wear them and look good in them. I have yet to see a guy that really looks good in them. Yeah. Slim, fine, but skinny, it just looks like
uncomfortable.
It's uncomfortable, and you can tell they're uncomfortable. Yeah. I said it should not take you 5 to 10 minutes to take off your pants. What do you do? You go to the bathroom. It's crazy. You got to go through all that. But in the current collections, the 2 collections that are for 2020, I just brought off a couple of blazers that that were pretty popular and so forth. One of them actually is another version of the Ankara print.
Here, let me hold these up for you so that we can see them on the camera.
Okay.
There you go.
Yatta.
That's an Ankara print. Sorry, I'm talking away from the mic here.
I know, guys. I got to try this one real quick.
That'll fit you. And that's actually an Ankara print. Now, there are a number of suppliers, fabric suppliers, that are bringing fabrics from Ghana and from Cameroon and so forth. And this one's coming out, this fabric came out of Atlanta. And so that's one of those ones where it can follow your body, but it doesn't grab and tight. It's not tight on your body. So it looks good.
Okay, Yatta.
Yeah, see, it works. Okay. See, we can dress him up a bit. He all right.
I look fly. I look fresh. I look African fresh.
And so that's a nice piece for a pair of jeans as well as for a pair of dress shoes, pants. You know, you can wear it with or without a tie. It doesn't really matter. You can wear it with a T-shirt. You know, the one I'm wearing is also one I made. So it's part of that gold and kind of the king version of pretty much anybody who wears it.
And this is part of what I was saying. It's just like it's unique, but I can see myself wearing this I'm like I can wear this
Yep. And that's what you like about it. It goes to, if you're going out, for example, and you don't really want to wear the Sunday morning suit, if you will. You want to wear something that looks like, a woman, I figure, wants to see a man look like he looks like something. Like he thought about what he looks like at least once. And so
I felt like that was a shot, right?
Exactly. You go out there, and you show, okay, I'm wearing a pair of nice jeans, I'm wearing a nice T-shirt, and I threw on this jacket. Now all of a sudden it's dressy. You know, so you have a look like that. Then you have one, this is actually a traditional print, which is tweed. Tweed's been around forever. And yet the cut is completely different. So that cut goes across the body, and then I just add some accents to the back. So that if I'm going to do exactly. You have that kind of in that velvet on top. The great pattern there, and that's a European pattern. The style is more towards North Africa. Doesn't that look like him?
Yeah,
just look like him.
Y'all are the fashion model. Y'all getting it first here.
This is definitely, I can see Yatta.
Can't you see him in that? Yeah,
all the way.
Because you're taking the mixture of a European print, you know, and you're adding in some other, you know, the style of like a West African style, and this is something that you can wear. It's a blazer, but it's not your normal blazer.
Yatta.
Didn't that work on him?
Yeah. See, look, Yatta, you modeled those two pieces without any problems.
There you go. And see, something like that, you know, somebody shows up to a date looking like that, you're going to smile a bit. Yeah. You know, because they put some effort.
You're going to ask, where did you get that? That's very interesting. What
exactly.
Is that?
And it says something about your style. You know, I'm always about, you know, granted, you know, you want to know what's in a person's mind and so forth, but the first thing people see is what you look like.
Yeah. Yep.
And they're going to look, and they're going to do a quick snap judgment on, okay, this person is this way or this person is that way. At the very least, I want them to be able to see, to have an idea of what I may be like in regard to my style. And that the fact that I will care what I look like, whether I'm going to be seen or whether I'm not going to be seen. I care about it because I care about me. Yeah. And that's important of how you present yourself. And I want to present myself in a way that I would look at and say, like, "Ooh, wow, you don't really care what you look like at all." You know.
Shots fired.
But it's important that Ray said that, because last night at the event, one of the topics that we touched on was people, if you're a business person or if you're just a person in general trying to get out there, you have to present yourself. You have to sell yourself. So if you go out looking like you don't care about the world, nobody's going to take you seriously, because they're going to be like, if you don't care about yourself, you don't care about me. Like,
I've been on the other side of the table interviewing people many times, both in my fashion business as also in the IT world. And I feel so bad when I come in and I've read a resume and I say, okay, this person has a lot on the ball. And they come in and the shirt's wrinkled, or they look like they just woke up from a coma the night before or something like that. Because I know that when my colleagues see them, they're not going to see them. They're going to just see that. Yeah. And they're not going to care how smart you may be or what you've done and so forth, because they can't get past what they're seeing.
Yeah.
We're very visually stimulated. So we're going to see that and we're like, at the very least, you could have cared enough to take care of yourself. You see models show up, believe it or not, the same way. A model showed up for a shoot. No names I'm giving. But a model showed up for a shoot. As soon as they walked in the door, I smelled them. I'm like, okay, what, were you out partying the night before and you just rolled out of bed and showed up? We sent them home.
Yeah.
Said nobody's going to allow you to be in their clothes like this. And you should not take yourself out of your house with that going on.
Yeah.
And nobody is that cute. You
to get it.
That's not, you're not going to get a pass for that.
Yeah.
So it's representing who you are and valuing yourself. That's a big part of people can tell whether or not you value who you are. I'm not talking about being conceited.
Yeah.
But that you have value, and that's presented in the way you walk in the room. And trust me, when we're interviewing on the other side of that table, from the time you walk in the door, the interview has started. We are watching and taking mental notes before you even sit down, guaranteed.
That's very true. It is true. Like all of the stuff that Ray is saying, I've heard before, I've seen before. It's like your self-esteem and your self-worth projects itself before you even speak. So the way you walk, the way you carry yourself, your demeanor, how you carry your shoulders, how you sit, when you go to an interview, they tell you sit, eye contact, everything, like the way your posture, everything. They look at all of that before you even speak. You can have like the most impressive resume, but if you're sitting in the chair like this at the interview, they're not gonna. They're not gonna
so I do this.
Nobody's paying attention at that point.
They're not taking you seriously. So it's all about like how you project yourself, like your confidence, not even like cockiness, your confidence and how you command the room. Because if you come into a room and you lack that confidence and you're trying to like dim yourself and like fade to, nobody's gonna pay you any attention. If you come in the room and command the room, take the room, like take charge of it, you can really like get opportunities presented to yourself that you may not even have the qualities for, but because of your confidence, they see it in you to build you up, and they want to help you build that.
Exactly. We have hired models that they weren't exactly what we were looking for, but something about them was sparked, and we knew that when we knew that they were going to represent us well. Just because of how they carry themselves. There are models that have done this. Matter of fact, this happened with this last show. I'm getting calls from agents now about models that walked in my show because they looked at them and they said, "This guy looks like he's already ready." And that's how they talk. They said he looks like he's already ready, and I knew exactly who they were talking about before they even told me the name. I said, "Oh, you're talking about Tim?" He said, "Oh yeah." He said, "What's the stats?" I contacted Tim. I said, this agency who's been in the business for over 20 years is calling you on Monday. They want to know if you're, can they represent you and so forth. That's what a model needs. But it was all, if you had seen him backstage, he presented himself the same way. So when he walked up to me right off the bat, I said, okay, he's ready. Whereas you see the people who have the look, but they're not ready. You'll see the ones trying to pimp down the runway. I tell people, don't pimp down my runway.
Yeah.
My name is not Huggy Bear. I'm not I'm not looking to market you to them. I said, my line is about being royal.
Yeah.
Royal people carry themselves a certain way. And so that's how, really, I tell people, they said, when I'm going to an interview, I say, how do I carry myself? I said, carry yourself with confidence. You don't have to have the most expensive thing on. Look neat. Do your research on the company so you know what they're looking for, and go in there with the best shot for your best shot, because going through the door, you already have strikes against you. So go ahead in with your best shot, and at least once you presented yourself the best that you can, you should be proud of that. But if you did not do that, you should say, okay, next time I need to do better.
Yeah. And I mean, like talking about like that kind of energy and presence and demeanor, if someone doesn't have can that take away from their walk? Even with a piece pieces like these, and like you see like they're so eye catching.
Right.
If someone does not present it as it's eye catching, is it gonna like dim?
It's not the clothing that makes the runway, it's the models that present.
You have
the
to bring the clothing alive. You really and here's the thing about a model: you don't have to like the clothing you're wearing. That's a real important one. A lot of people can say, well, I don't like that because I don't want to wear it, I don't like that. That's a quick way to get yourself out of a job. Your job is not to like the clothing. Your job is to sell the clothing. And the way you sell it is by how you move and walk in it. Learning, like somebody puts on a blazer. You don't walk the same way in a blazer that you walk in like a pair of jeans and a t-shirt. It's a different move. And so you have to learn all of those things as you go along. I know the newbies as soon as they walk in the door. Like, yeah, okay. And then you determine whether or not are they worth working with.
Yeah.
Do they have something that's there? But honestly, your personality is one of the biggest things that, even in the world of fashion, it's one of the biggest things that we pay attention to.
Wow.
No one wants to spend 8 hours with someone who's a holy terror.
Yeah.
You know, or who has no confidence.
Yeah.
Because if you have no confidence, you can have on a $1,500 suit and you will look like you just walked out of Walmart. You know, it doesn't. You have to carry yourself with value of who you are.
Yeah, trust me, I done got blazers out of like the thrift store, and they be like, "Oh, you look real nice."
Exactly. It doesn't matter.
I paid $6 for this.
Exactly. You know, somebody tells me, "Oh, I paid $1,500 for that." That really does not impress me.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, okay, do you wear it every day? Is there a reason you needed to do that? But it's in the fashion industry, again, business. They're going to try to get as much money as they possibly can.
Yeah.
But looking nice doesn't take that much money. It really doesn't. I know my other designers are probably going to kill me for saying that. But looking nice does not take that much money. It just takes fit. Yeah. It needs to fit you. It needs to represent where you are in life. Please don't go in at 45 dressing like you did at 25. That's just sad. That's like seeing your dad wear your hoodie. It's like you know what, your time is over. I hope you enjoyed it because it's really gone now. Yeah. But you see these 40 and 50-year-old men dressing like they just came out of a rap video. And it's like, you've seen it, right? Yeah.
I've seen it firsthand.
And trust me, the women don't think that's cute. No, well, let me put it this way: the women who you actually want to talk to, don't think that's cute. They kind of look at it like, oh, that's sad, and they'll smile, but that's sad, you know. And I'm glad when you see people like the ones that have moved that have moved on and have become multimillionaires, look like they have gone up. They haven't stayed the same. In other words, they've gone up. They show themselves in a way where, I was there. I've worked hard to get here, and I'm going to look like I belong here because I do. You know, so it's the way you carry yourself again. You got to grow up sooner or later.
You're right about that, and
hopefully.
And I mean, and sometimes as a society, we look at it as like changing up when really it's growth.
You're growing up.
Yeah, you're growing.
You're just growing up. You know, it's not about trying to pretend you're somebody else. No, I am someone else.
Yeah.
You know, I at 20, I was happy where I was at 20, and yet I wasn't planning on staying there.
I don't think people like always get that concept either. Like they like, and that comes from like certain people who don't really. It might take them longer to change, or it takes them longer to grasp the concept. Like, hey, I need to grow up too. Yeah. Like like it's like I'm years behind. You know, like
and hopefully you're not waiting till you're 50 to figure that out. But I mean, one of our young men at church he's 19, just got his real estate license at 19. Very smart young man and so forth. He came to me and said, I need you to dress me because I need adult clothes. Now that was smart. I didn't say anything to him about it. I didn't even know he had gotten his license at that point. But I said, okay, what you realize is that you're getting into a market that requires a certain look, and that's not the look of a 19-year-old.
Yeah.
You know, so I said, but by the same token, you are 19. We don't want you to look like a 50-year-old.
Yeah.
So we went to stores right here in the neighborhood, and got him a look that was appropriate, but still, it was still him. He still has like the twist in the hair and so forth, but it looks great on him. We just dressed him up to fit who he is now.
Yeah.
You know, where he is in life now, as opposed to where he was at 14 and 15. I credited him for knowing that, okay, I'm no longer there. I'm here now, and I need to look like I'm here. And that was one of the things that I was so proud of him for doing that. I probably worked with him since he was 14 years old. Just to hear him say that, and then to realize that he'll say something like, I got that from you, without me even thinking about it. He said, you carry yourself in a certain way. He said, I see when you're at this, you dress this way. When you're at this, he said, it's always you, but it's that version of you at that time. So it makes a big difference.
Man, that was deep right there. That was a gem right there. I like that one. Ray, we actually are winding down on our time.
Okay.
So if you could please just like tell everybody where they can find you and your clothing line.
Well, on social media, under things is Ray _Vincent, and that's Vincent with an E on the end. And so you'll find that for Instagram as well as for Twitter. Same thing, Ray Vincent on Facebook.
Okay.
And then you'll also find all the links to where you can buy the clothing or see the fashion shows and things like that.
Yeah, because I'm telling you, this man's stuff is amazing. I'm telling you, like, and that's what I was saying. It's just like it's different, but it's not outlandish. It still looks amazing, but it's so unique.
Yeah, I'm not going to have you wearing a sink.
This is fashion. But as always, guys, if you enjoyed this debate, please, like the video, subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell for when we post our next episode.
And always share the episodes if you can with your followers.
Yes.
And Ray, thank you so much for
coming. Oh, it's my pleasure.
Through.
Thank you for bringing me on, and I appreciate it.
As always, man. Until next time on Yatta Debates.
All right, we're out.
Bye.